All of our student organizations have an option to post event information to the digital signs that are located throughout campus. So today I'm going to go ahead and show you the best way to create content in order to get it ready for digital signage. So we're going to use Canva. All of our student organizations are able to have a pro account. So if your student org has not been set up with a Canva Pro account yet, please reach out to your program coordinator. First things first, you're going to click create, and then you're going to go to custom size. From custom size, you're going to enter the following resolution. So it's 3840 by 2160. So those are your pixels. So 3840 by 2160, which will result in a 4K picture, which is what's required for the dimensions on the screens that we have. So you're going to see that you're left with, or you start with, a blank screen. So for today, I'm going to just search general event templates. You're going to see that this is obviously formatted the same as a PowerPoint. So you can start from scratch. You can find some templates of different things that you like. You see here, I'm just searching basic event to kind of get some ideas, see what's out there and available. You could also try searching by the theme of your event. So if I was to do a bingo event, you could type bingo in and use that to start, and then go ahead and edit those different templates for what you want. I'm going to go ahead and go back though to my general event template and find something to use for the purpose of this training. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit. You really want to focus on things that are visually appealing and don't have a ton of words. It's super important. We're thinking one topic per slide. We want to keep it basic, like come to this event, join this club, whatever that is. So I'm going to choose this one. It's bright, it's engaging, not a lot of text, so it's going to work very well for our uses. So I'm going to make some content for our upcoming club kickoff. So I'm going to start with the event name. Then I'm going to go ahead and include the date, the time, and the location, which is information that is required for any of our student organization events, flyers, things like that. Something else that's important to remember when creating content for these signs is that in order to keep them ADA compliant, you want to use what's called a sans serif font. So a sans serif font means when you're looking at the letters, they don't have like little tails on them, okay? So Helvetica, Arial, those different fonts. You're going to see I'm changing this one from the youngest. You can see how there's like little tails, drops on the different letters. I'm going to change it to another font that is sans serif. So we try to keep 2, maybe 3 fonts per content. Here I'm going with Helvetica for the subtitles and Poppins for the large title. I'm going to play around with the sizing a little bit, kind of change up the case so that way they match. And again, I'll just play around with the sizes until I get something that I feel looks good. The next thing I'm going to do is increase the font size a little bit. Font sizes, you kind of want them to be as big as they can without taking over everything and every element. Some recommendations, if you're looking at a screen or a display from, 12 feet away, it should be size 400. Obviously, if I get up to size 400, it's going to be, say, just club kickoff, but we want to have things large and clear. You're going to see this third line with the location didn't really fit, so that one I'm going to actually reduce a little bit, so that way it does fit. I'm going to knock that down to 100. I think, everything's lined up and looks good. I am going to use my rulers and guides just real quick to make sure that all of my text is lined up on the vertical plane. It is. That makes me happy. I like when things are all lined up like that. You can view rulers and guides by hitting Shift-R, and then you can go ahead and get rid of them if you want to. The next thing I'm going to do is go into my projects folder and then my photos folder to find a photo of students at Club Kickoff from last year, because I think that'll work really well for this slide. But you can go ahead and either use photos, or you can search through different elements or the Canva stock photos, whatever it is that you feel works best. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to drag this picture in. I think that's Active Minds maybe. And that looks pretty good. So it's engaging, good to go, all of that. So once your content is all set, you're going to click share, and then you are going to click download, and you want to make sure to download it correctly so that it goes to this displays correctly. So when you click download, you're going to want to download as a JPG, which is best for sharing. The size again should be the 3840 by the 2160. So that's all set. I always set the quality to high just so that everything downloads nice and crisp and it's not blurry when it goes to the screen, you're going to go ahead and click download, and then that downloaded file is what you will be able to upload to your resource room request form. So that's the easiest way, one of the easiest ways to create content for the digital displays. The second option that I'm going to show you, so we're going to go back to our Canva main page, is actually taking a design you already have and then resizing it. So I'm going to use this hiring Instagram post that we created for Taya's Pantry. So let's go with that. So this was designed for Instagram. I want to make it so that it fits our digital signage. So all you have to do is click resize. You're going to go to custom size, and you're going to go ahead and type in that 3840 2160 pixels to get the right size. Hit copy and resize, and then I'm going to open that new document. So you're going to see everything transferred over, but it's a little bit funny. So you're going to want to take some time. If there's that extra text on it, you're going to want to take that off. But you're going to want to just play around with all the different elements to try to get the same vibe as the original post. You can see I keep clicking back to refer just to kind of see how the different elements were organized and placed and all of that. And I start moving the different elements around. All right, so now I'm going to focus in on the text. Again, I'm going to want to make it a little bit larger so people can read it from further away. I'm going to line everything up. Go ahead and make that bigger, play around with it. I'm going to keep some of the original elements, so like that line to break things up. I did like how some of the information was in a different colored box. Obviously, link in bio does not work for a digital screen, so I'm going to go ahead and put some information on how students can apply for the job. Just real quick, apply online at worcester.edu/careers. So I'm going to play around with that as well, make it a little bit bigger, and see kind of what works. Something else that you can do for digital signage is put a QR code on there. So if you want to do that, I go to the apps, I search QR code. It's built right into Canva, which is great, so you don't need to use a different website. I prefer the static QR codes you can see down in the 5th line. It's just a basic black and white QR code. What's great is you can go ahead and just enter a URL. You're going to see I put in the worcester.edu/careers. You can also go ahead and just copy paste it over from the website. But all you have to do is hit generate code and it's going to create it right in Canva for you. So with the QR code, I'm going to play around, kind of see a placement that I like for it. On the back end of digital signage, we will take care of making sure that the image is on the display long enough so students can scan the QR code. And again, if you have a sign up, you want to link somebody to a website directly, you want to link to your Instagram account, whatever that is, you can go ahead and put that. You're going to see I play around a little bit with the design. I decide I don't like just kind of the random QR code hanging out there. And eventually I'm just going to move some of the elements around in order to kind of fit the vision a little bit better. Once I decide on the placement for the QR code, I decide I want to highlight that with an arrow that says, apply here, gives the impression that students can go ahead and scan it. So I'm going to go ahead, type arrow into the elements section and find an arrow that I like, put it where I would like it. I'm going to go ahead and change the color. I would like it to match one of the other elements that is on the page. I've decided I do want to animate this element. That makes it a little bit different. So you're not going to be downloading an image, you will be downloading a video file. I'm going to give the arrow a little wiggle, so hopefully that makes it a little bit more engaging on the screen and, get students' attention a little bit more, or people who are looking at that. I'm going to go ahead and change the color of the arrow and the star. I want it to match the donations box, kind of the red from the lid in there. So you're going to see here's where I forget where to find the eyedropper tool, but I go ahead and just manually find a shade of red that looks most similar to what is in the donation box. That looks close enough to me, so I'm going to go ahead and select change all, so that'll get the star and the arrow for the right color. I'm going to make sure once again that the arrow is animated the way I would like it to. I'm going to click share, download. For this, you want to make sure that you have 4K selected. Then you go ahead and click download. Again, it comes as an MP4, and that's what you are going to upload into your resource room request form. I wouldn't do everything as little animated slides, at least for the time being. I would recommend a combination of doing both static content images, which don't have any movement or anything, and then you can go ahead and maybe do one or two for those bigger events, those more special events, add an animation just to get attention and kind of help it stand out from everything else. And that's how you're going to make content for the digital signs. If you have questions about anything, you can go ahead and reach out to your program coordinator, or you can stop by the resource room and talk to our program assistants. If your organization does not yet have a Canva Pro account, please talk to your program coordinator and we will make sure to get you set up with that, so that way you have access to all of these great features and are able to create the best flyers and the best content for your student organizations.